Hey, you guys are watching Bird Up, the worst show on television.
What's up guys, Patrick here from Top Tier Gaming, and today I'm coming at y'all with a deck profile for a deck that recently got new support in the side set Legendary Duelist Sychro Storm, that being Lyrilusc. I have been looking forward to this release for quite a while. I've been testing the deck since it got announced back in, good lord, when was that, January of this year? I don't even remember when the leaks came through. I just know Sychro Storm got delayed, and so we didn't get it until just last week. So yeah, I went ahead and put the profile together. I played it for our case tournament and didn't do too well because I had a bad build going into it. I had a tech that I thought would be good, but it turned out if you don't go first, it is terrible. So yeah, this is the current build I'm working with. I think it's pretty good. I'll go through main deck, extra deck, and side deck. This deck's pretty fun. It focuses on Xyz summoning, which is my favorite extra deck summoning mechanic. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people's favorite one, because to me it's the most balanced of all of them, because there's limitations on them, except for cards like Zeus, which, you know, we play because you got to abuse the broken cards for your summoning mechanic when you can. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the profile. Starting off, we have a triple turquoise Warbler. This is probably the best starter in the deck. Let me get this thing to focus real quick, sorry about that. Yep, there we go. Okay, yeah, 3 turquoise Warbler. When you don't control a monster, you can special summon her, and when she's special summoned from your hand, you can special summon a Lyrilusc monster from hand or graveyard. So she's pretty nice, to say the least. So next up, we have triple Cobalt Sparrow. Cobalt Sparrow, whenever she's special summoned by any means, she adds a level 1 Wing Beast from deck to hand. So she's kind of the best one if you open her with turquoise or with the blue one, Sapphire. She's very nice. I like this card quite a bit. And whenever she's under an Xyz, they can't target that card with effects. So it's pretty nice. Whenever she gets put under, say, Zeus, or any of your Lyrilusc monsters, obviously, she just gives them an extra layer of protection from opponents. Next up, we have Sapphire Swallow. Play 3 of it. Sapphire Swallow, if you control a Wing Beast monster, you can special it from your hand, along with another level 1 Wing Beast. So she has synergy with all of your special summon monsters, which... The Lyrilusc monsters fall into 2 categories for me, which is the cards like Cobalt Sparrow, where you get search effects off of them, and the cards like Sapphire Swallow, good lord, and Turquoise Warbler, and the newest card, Barrel Canary, which are the cards that special summon your other Lyriluscs. And then, yeah. So let me get back to Sapphire real quick. Sapphire, she specials herself and a level 1 from hand, and then whenever it's under an Xyz, when the Xyz is summoned, you can attach a Lyrilusc from grave to it. So it allows you to get a bunch of materials under your monsters, which, you know, goes into your win con, which is making big Xyz monster that bounces a bunch. Then the one that I mentioned for just a second, Barrel Canary. She is kind of like Drytron Gamma. So she special summons herself with a Lyrilusc monster from graveyard. And then whenever she's under an Xyz monster, it can't change control. So whenever you make Zeus with a bunch of materials, you'll have her under it as well, which means that the opponent can't take it with things like Triple Tech Talent, which is super useful, especially with other cards where like they can't take your Bounce Girl either. It's just really useful to have the ability to like keep her protected. And the only one we play at 2, Celeste Wagtail. I'm considering bumping this up to 3 now that I've changed the list up a little bit, but currently this is what I'm playing. Whenever she's special summoned, she adds a Lyrilusc spell trap, and then when she's in the grave, she can attach herself to an Xyz from the grave, a Lyrilusc Xyz specifically. So yeah, she's pretty good. She is very good for the new support. So as I was saying, Lyrilusc kind of fall into 2 categories, where it's the cards that special summon them, and the ones you want to be special summoning off of it. So yeah, that is the Lyrilusc lineup, and then the only other monster we're playing triple Slower Swallow. Pause. Whenever there are 2 monsters with the same level, you can special summon it from hand, and then you can tribute it to draw 2 cards instead of 1 for your next draw phase, which is super useful if you already have your full board set up. You can just go ahead and tribute this to draw 2 and get more advantage on your next turn. Also, it doesn't specifically say on the same side of the field. So if you ever get Nibiru'd, you can special summon Sapphire Swallow, and if you have a way into another Lyrilusc, you can still make another Exceed, which is pretty useful for, you know, level or turn ones where you're kind of weak to Nibiru pre F0. So yeah, it's pretty nice. He's a good card. Then we play some one-ofs. We play one of DD Crow, one of Ash Blossom, and one of Nibiru. DD Crow, you search in your combo, and then these are the two hand traps that can hurt you the most, so I decided to play them because I play Crossout Designator in my list. Another hand trap that really hurts the deck is Droll and Lockbird, but I decided to side deck that card, specifically because it's a good hand trap to play. I play multiples of it in the side, and it's a crossout target, so whenever you're going first, you can side it in. Whenever your opponent has sided in their DD or their Droll and Lockbirds, excuse me, if they know that it's good versus your deck. A lot of people don't realize how good it is for whatever reason when your main combo like adds 4 times. For the spells, we play Triple Bird Call. This card is what makes this deck playable to me. It's super insane. It takes a Lyrilusc monster and either adds it to your hand or sends it to the graveyard. So it's either a Rhoda or a Foolish Burial. And then you get to special summon a Lyrilusc from your hand with a different name. So whenever you get to a point where you have like drawn into maybe your Turquoise, if you use this, you can still special summon Turquoise, and then Turquoise will special from hand or graveyard as well. So it's super nice. It's just a super insane card. It's one of the most overloaded cards that got printed recently, and I love it for it. Then we play Triple Jack in the hand. This card's super polarizing. It reveals 3 level 1s. Your opponent takes one, you take one, and then the last one goes into the deck. It's really weird because a lot of the times you'll reveal something like Cobalt, Celeste, and Turquoise, and then for some reason people will be taking these, but like you kind of want them to take Turquoise so you can add these because you'll usually have one of your other cards that gets these out of your hand and will special summon it to the field. So if your opponent doesn't know what your deck does, they'll probably take Turquoise because it is, you know, the starter. It's kind of like the iconic Lyrilusc monster because of Tri-Brigade. So yeah, I feel like it's okay. You can also play Pot of Prosperity in this spot, but I kind of don't value Prosperity that much whenever one of your like win cons is punching your opponent a bunch of times with a bird. So while it makes your turn 1 better, it also does make your going second a little bit worse in my opinion. I wouldn't fault you for playing it. Like, I've tested with it quite a bit. Then we play Triple Crossout Designator. As I said, you get hit by a couple hand traps pretty hard, so you want to have answers to them. Then we play Double Droplet. This is weird because it is a going second card that you want to play, but at the same time, I really play it, so it's a crossout target, because if they cross out your F0 or your Bounce Girl, you can't really deal with that. If they didn't have Nibiru, they just droplets it, and you're kind of stuck, kind of screwed. So I play it as both a going second card and as a crossout target. Then for one-ofs, we play one of Instant Fusion, one of Upstart, or excuse me, one of 1-for-1, duh, whoops. One of Foolish Burial, Call by the Grave, Fearless Bird Sanctuary. This is the only one I'm going to talk about out of these because the others should be pretty explanatory. Bird Sanctuary, whenever it's activated, you can target 2 Wing Beast Xyz monsters and then attach one to the other, putting all the materials under it, so you can make a super big Independent Nightingale and punch your opponent like 9 times for like 20,000 damage. It's super nice. Or whenever you have a Xyz with 3 or more materials, you can just draw a card. And whenever you make your usual combo, you will make F0, and F0, like, off top has 3 materials, so you basically always get to draw off of it, which is super nice. The last spell we play is Harpy's Feather Duster in the main. I know it's kind of weird to play Feather Duster in the main deck, but because of the trap card we play, it's pretty good, because if they pop the trap, they get punished. Speaking of the trap, this is probably the most broken card in the deck. This is really what will get you there. If you draw this card, you're probably winning this game, or at least getting to play your turn 2 through a weak board. So if you control the Windwing Beast, it negates any monster effects your opponent activates. And if you control a Harpy monster, you can activate it from your hand. You play the Harpy Link 2 in your extra deck, so you can activate it from hand sometimes if like your hand's gas enough that you can just make the Link 2. Then you can hold Feather Storm in hand, and you can just keep comboing, and when they try to interact with you, you just slam down Storm. And this card's broken as hell. It is actually the best card in the deck, in my opinion, just by itself. Going on into the extra deck, we play 2 Ensemble Robin. She is one of the new girls in that came out in Sychro Storm. She uses 2+ level 1s, gains 500 for each material under it, and when your opponent special summons a monster, except during damage, you can detach a material, target one of those special summon monsters, and return it to the hand. And when it's sent to grave, it adds a Lyrilusc monster from graveyard to hand. So it's super nice. This goes into your turn 1 board. You would usually make this with F-Zero, Drago, I can't remember his name. But yeah, she's super good. She gives you a pretty reliable turn 1 board that is pretty difficult for a special summon based deck to get through. Next we play 2 Assembled Nightingale. This card is the OTK machine. It gains 200 for every level 1 under it, and it can attack as many times as there are level 1s under it. So a lot of the times in this list, you're attacking 5 or 6 times, and because Barrel Canary gives the monster an additional 200 attack, usually you'll have 4 Lyriluscs under it, plus the 200 boost from Barrel Canary, which means you're swinging for 4,000 direct, which is pretty good. If you trust me there, swinging 4K direct and then making a Zeus with 3 sins is pretty nice. Then we play triple Recital Starling. This card is so good. It's a non-once per turn searcher. And don't know what else to say about it. Any battle damage you would take from battles involving this card is also inflicted to your opponent. And that's pretty good. One of your usual OTKs is to give, if they have a monster that's like 2,300 attack, you can slam like 4 times direct with Nightingale, and then swing into that with Recital with 0 attack, and just kill them. Also, I forgot to mention on Assembled, if you detach a material, your Lyrilusc monsters can't be destroyed by battle or card effect that turn, and you take no battle damage, which is super nice. Now here's the problem. You're also supposed to be playing 1 Prom Thrush. I'll put a picture of her up, but I accidentally gave my copies away to a friend that is also building the deck. I thought I had 1 more copy, and I can't seem to find it. But yeah, you want to play one of her. She's really good. She is an out to back row. If you get Imperial ordered sometimes, it can be just game. So you want to have an answer to it, even if it is kind of a weak answer, because if they interact with it, you still could lose, but it gives you an out, which is really important. She's also a battle trick. She detaches material from herself and then gives the card, or gives another monster 500 for each detached, which is super nice if you're detaching like 2 for Nightingale and you're swinging direct for 2k 4 times. Like, that's just game. Next we play the F-Zero package, Atomic Future, and Draco Future. I don't really know what to say about this other than he's a big towers that is a negate and he takes cards. He's pretty good. Can be destroyed by a battle or card effect. Super nice. Then we're playing 2 Sky Thunder. This card is nasty. I don't think you need to play the second one, but it's come up enough for me where I'm like, alright, I guess I'll leave the second one in. It doesn't hurt to have it in there. Yeah. It's pretty good. He's Zeus. What do you want me to say? And this is probably the best abuser of the card after Zoo got hit, because you make the largest Exceed monsters. Play 1 Almirage because it's kind of like Tri-Brigade, where you need a card where if you open like Celeste or Cobalt, that you can you can normal summon it, make Almirage, and then barrel bring back one of those, and then start comboing. It's just kind of like there for your weak hands. It's not great, but you kind of have to play it in my opinion. You can play 1 Harpy Conductor. As I said, your spell is broken. I don't really know what to say about it. Card is nice. Her effect doesn't really come up ever. Then we play 1 Independent Nightingale for your instant fusion target. I forgot to show this with the other Lyriluscs, but whatever. She's pretty good. Whenever she's special summoned, you can burn your opponent for 500. It burns for 500 amount to her level. She has an effect where like the materials that were used for her fusion summon, like the Exceed, she gains levels equal to that, but like that does not come up at all. So yeah, usually you'll special summon her, offensive fusion, burn for 500, bring her back with barrel, burn for another 500. It's pretty nice. Alright, that is the extra deck. Now going on to the side deck, this is where some of the spice is, in my opinion. We start with triple Denko Sekka. If you go versus a backer deck, those are really your worst matchups because dealing with trap cards is pretty hard for this deck. You can kind of chew through negate boards pretty easily because you just have a bunch of cards that have to be negated, such as Bird Call, Turquoise, Sapphire, Cobalt. Like, you just have a bunch of really good cards that they have to answer. Not to mention all your one-of cards. that Denko Sekka versus backer decks kind of gives you an out, and you never really use your normal summon in this list. The only normal summon in the list I would call a normal summon is Sapphire or Slower Swallow, and that's only whenever you open up Sapphire Swallow with like one of these. So you know, it just kind of fits in really nicely because it doesn't start a chain. Your opponent can't like Fiendish chain it or anything. Unless they have Warning or Judgment, they can't activate their sets. Plus they can't set, so if you normal summon this, make F-Zero, make Bounce Girl, it's a pretty solid board. Next up, Double Droll. Yeah, it's a cross-out target, plus it's a good hand trap, so I'm playing 2 of it. Don't know what else to say about it. It's good versus Drytron, good versus this deck, good versus PK, in my opinion. If they open weird hands, it's pretty good. It stops them from, you know, adding back their second Fog Blade from deck to hand. It stops them from adding the PK from deck to hand off of Cloak if they activated anything else, like if they wrote it or something. It's pretty good. It's good versus a bunch of things. You know what it's good versus, honestly, at this point. Then we're playing Triple Forbidden Chalice. Don't bully me. It's the only like non-close to max rarity card in the deck, I think. Yeah. It's super good. It's kind of just a 1-for-1 negate card, which is what you need for cards like Appaloosa, cards like, what's his name? Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. You just need 1-for-1s to stop them, because you can't really afford to discard your entire hand all the time. I honestly think Droplets is pretty mediocre, but I'm playing it purely because it is in a lot of main decks at my locals, so I want to be able to cross out at game 1. Yeah, Chalice is also super good, like, just in general. I think Chalice is insane. Then we play Triple Dark Ruler No More. Dark Ruler No More, you make Zeus with 4 mats, you win the game. I don't know what to say. Then we play Triple Cosmic Cyclone. It's probably the best quick play spell. You can't really afford to discard off of Twin Twisters, and MST is not very good in this deck, in my opinion. Mainly because you don't get any value off of it. I prefer cards that get value off of it, such as in like Sky Striker, where you can pop your own field spell to get value out of it. But yeah, Cyclone's pretty good. And then we play One Red Reboot, because we main deck Harvey's Feather Duster. This used to be in, the Feather Duster used to be in the side, and we used to have these, those 5, plus the Denko Sekkas for 8 cards that you can just side in to win back row matchups. But now you just side in 7. You can take out the Feather Storms for like the 3 Cyclones, and you can take out Slower Swallows, things like Droplets, to fit in the rest of them in back row matchups. And you can usually win it because you have such a robust lineup of cards that just kind of win matchups that rely on floodgates. But yeah, guys, that is my Lyrilusc deck profile. I am a huge fan of this deck. I'll probably be playing it for the foreseeable future. I'll have some other profiles coming up that we're mainly waiting on this and Burst of Destiny cards. I was just lazy and didn't want to buy these when they were 90 like Aaron did. Get goofed on. But yeah, this deck's pretty fun. I recommend giving it a try. It's not super expensive at all. I think the only expensive card in it that's new is Bird Call, and it's really not that high, last I checked. It is a solid deck, probably like 1.5, maybe tier 2. It kind of relies on your opponent not knowing what to do against it, which is pretty good, but it also does narrow down into a build where you kind of just make Zeus in some matchups, and a lot of people already have answers to that with like Dark Ruler, Droplets, stuff like that. So it's just kind of weird. I definitely think the deck's fun, and I definitely would give it a try. Go ahead and test it online, use my build, tweak what you don't like. Yeah, make sure you comment, subscribe, like the video, join our Discord. Linktree is in the description. I think all of the other links are there as well. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.